Hi guys, Mama Mita here, and today I am making a Puerto Rican sausage soup. Now my husband and I got gifted this piece of salami, hard salami,
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho.
and it's really nice. It's got white wine and it's got some ground black pepper in it. I taste a little bit. It's really good, really good. We don't eat a lot of salami and sausages and stuff like that. We try not to eat too much stuff because of our age, and our health issues and stuff. So I thought, okay, this is perfect. I'm just going to make a little sausage soup, Puerto Rican style. So let me show you how I'm going to do this today. First thing I'm going to be doing is putting on my little pot. Now you could probably, actually adapt this to be a crock pot recipe. I think, it would come out pretty good. And it's, you could use a little bit of olive oil, but I'm going to use, in this case, I'm going to just put a little bit of bacon grease. I can get that. And then I'm going to throw in my little sausages. I cut those up. Okay. And then some chopped up white onions, and I'm using a little bit less than one onion. I did cut up the whole onion, and the rest of it I just put it in a little baggie and put it in the freezer. And that's probably what I'm going to do with that salami too, the rest of that salami, because like I said, we don't eat it a lot, but I'll probably next month make another little salami soup. And let that cook up for about maybe say 5 minutes. Okay, and then let me throw that over here in the freezer. So what I have over here in the freezer is I have a little bag of onions left over, and then I didn't want to use a whole can of corn, so I'm only using, because it calls for a little bit of corn, and I'm just not going to pay $5 for 4 ears of corn. I think they can keep that for their fuel making stuff. So I put the rest of that in there, and then I have my little sofrito, and I just put it in the freezer. All that stuff, keep it in the freezer, because it's a good way to save money. Just divide it up, because it's just two of us eating, and I'm only doing this one little small pot, so I don't see a point in cooking a whole big pot of food and stuff. And what, we have to eat this type of soup for days? I mean, boy, what does that do to your cholesterol level? Okay. Then I'm going to add some potatoes. Now, I like potatoes, so I not dice, but I cut them up, like this size. Stir that around so it kind of mingles in there with those flavors and stuff. And this is, like I said, it's just kind of almost like a dump recipe. You just, dump everything in here and then let it cook up. And it should be ready. Once these potatoes are cooked up, then I would say right before they get completely soft, at that point you would add the little bit of spaghetti noodles. Now, okay. So then I took a little bit of garlic powder. Didn't have any fresh garlic. I thought I had fresh garlic, and I thought, okay, should I have gotten in the freezer? Nope, I must have used it up and didn't even bring any more back. So, okay, so there's the garlic powder. And then I'm adding a little bit of oregano, not much. I would say probably, in this case, maybe almost like a little bit more than a fourth of a teaspoon. A little bit of black pepper, like a fourth of a teaspoon at the max. And I'm adding a little bit of turmeric, because I like that. That's really good for your liver. And then I'm putting like a fourth of a cup of the sofrito. I'm going to stir that again. Sure does smell good. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Add that. And then these little bag things like this here, you can get them at the dollar store, and they're already measured up. They're just the coolest little bag. I use them for my herbs outside when I freeze herbs, or I dry them up, or if I'm taking them to camping and stuff with me, then I can just put them in one of these little bags, and then I save them and I wash them up and with soap, soap and water, and then I stick them on this thing and they dry, they air dry, and I can reuse them again. My parents did that. They even did that with the garden stuff, like if they froze tomatoes, because my parents could freeze tomatoes and bring those tomatoes out, and those tomatoes, they look like they was right out of the garden. I don't know about how I could do that one. I mean, mine come out pretty good, but I remember that when I was a child. Okay, so we'll keep that going. Then I'm going to add a little bit of canned corn, not much, just to say I got corn in there. I'm just not going to pay that big a price. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, forget that. No way. Then I only used 4 green onions, but I cut them, just sliced them. Put those in. And then I'm going to add probably about 1/4 of this, well, almost 1/2 of this can of tomato sauce. Okay, let me show you how that looks. See how that's looking now? Okay. Boy, it sure does smell good. Now, some people like to add this seasoning. Now, I don't mind seasoning. Here's the thing I got about seasoning. When you got a lot of salt, and they do, it just surprises me how much salt they get away with, but they do. And so I take in the fact that, okay, that the bacon grease has got a little bit of salt in it, and believe it or not, this tomato sauce has got salt in it, and then the salami's got salt in it. I mean, what? That's too much salt. So I'm only going to add 1/2 of this. I'm just, it's mostly for flavor and a little bit. Normally, I don't really even use this. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that, and it'll give it flavor and a little bit of coloring. Okay. Boy. Whoosh, that sure does smell good. Now, at that point, I'm going to add some water. This is a very economical dish. Can feed a lot too, because you can add as much of those spaghetti noodles as you want at the last part, not right now. I'm going to add a little bit more water also, because I like my soup soupy. Like, I like it watery. I don't like it so thick that it's like a stew. No. So I'm going to add that. And so now let me show you how that looks. So there you go. And I'm going to let that cook till the potatoes are almost done. And then at that point, I need about 9 minutes on this spaghetti pasta, okay? And so right before I think those potatoes are almost done, I'm going to throw this in and cook this in. I'm not putting a lot of this pasta because, like I said, I like mine soupy. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll come back and see you guys. Okay, I'm back. And so the soup is finished now. And I added a little bit of spaghetti noodles to it. And then the last thing I put on top of it was the cilantro. And you guys, it tastes really good. It's just really, really good. The only thing I want to tell you about is I did add a little bit more garlic to it. I love garlic. Okay, and then remember, I had opened up that little small can of tomato sauce, and so I didn't use all of it. So I put in one of these little baggies. Now, sometimes what will happen when you use these baggies, if you want to reuse them again, and it's the same thing with Tupperware, as I have sometimes problems getting the stain out of it. Well, there's a neat little trick. What I do is I take one of these, like something like this, say it's stained with yellow from the tomato. So I put a little bit of Dawn dishwashing, and I pour hot water in there, and then I'll take like a little sponge thing like this, and I put it inside there and put the lid. But you want to be careful when you put the lid and move it around a little bit. What it does is that sponge thing cleans the side walls of your Tupperware or your little plastic bags. But the only thing is you have to be careful that you don't get burned because if the water's too hot. So don't make it too hot, but it cleans it really nice. It takes away the yellow stain. See, there's no yellow stain. Looks pretty good, huh? And remember I said you can pick these up at the dollar store? They're really great because what they've got on them is they've got the size, like 1 cup, 3/4, a half, and a fourth. And it works great because then you automatically know when you're at camp, oh, well, okay, I got a half a cup here. And what I do sometimes is if I just want to take a cake mix with me, is I'll take and divide the cake up into halves or maybe even 1/3 of the cake. And then later when I get to camp, I know exactly how I've got that measured out. So, look at that. Oh, I hope my husband likes this. It's too bad I don't have any garlic. I might have to hop in the car and go back down to the store to get some fresh garlic to make him some garlic toast. Oh, boy. That reminds me of our days when we lived in Puerto Rico, and we would walk down to the restaurant, and we would go and have dinner down there, and they always had that garlic toast, and oh, gosh, that stuff was so good. You just wanted to sit there and just eat the garlic toast. But this is really good. And so you see, it's got the little spaghetti noodles in it. And then I cut my sausages up a little bit smaller. So that way when you get a bite of the tomatoes, you get a little bit of bite of the sausage too. You guys, thank you so much. And if you like my video today, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Thank you so much. Ciao. Have a great day. Okay, now we got to get some garlic. Oh, boy.